All right. Welcome back to the zone.
Be back.
So, we ended up on quite an explosive ending on the last episode, so what is the aftermath of that? So, you had finished up your annual rites development to remember the dead, those that have been lost. And you're still working on the burial site. Now, you've decided, is that unanimous to have make it out in Barrier Park? Or at least a part of Burial Park, because it's Barrier Park, sorry. Burial.
Um,
Burial, barrier. Because it won't take up the whole park. Well, eventually it probably will, but for right now, there's not enough dead.
Pessimistic.
Sounds like a good place to me.
Yeah, I think we went out of town just like mainly for hygiene reasons, I guess.
So, let's make a note of where that's at. What part of that park? Close to the water or northeast corner, north central?
I'd say away from the water. Don't want to exactly have them washing away.
By the way, do we know much about? I think this building in actual London is like there's like an underground walkway that goes below the Thames barrier. Is that,
I've
like,
never been
clogged up?
there. Have you been there?
I've seen it in a video, but I think this bit here is the Thames barrier. I
It
think that's
is,
why it's
yeah.
called Barrier Park.
Yeah, and I've got it partially submerged.
Yeah, there's a tunnel that goes along, I think.
Oh, right. For tourist or for servicing?
I think just general use. I think it was originally a service tunnel.
Um, well, we collectively make the world. So what we can't have is that it's fully intact all the way to the other side because you've already have a bridge then.
Yeah,
So
probably
do
don't want to
do we decide that you haven't discovered it yet, or parts of it are maybe it does exist, but underneath the building is kind of in rubble. If that was cleared, then you would find it.
Yeah, I think at some stage we probably want to dig it out.
All right, I'm making burial site. And just getting rid of some things. I don't know why it always wants to put a box. It's still too big. There we go. Okay.
Oh wait, I've just checked on Google Maps. That's just a children's playground.
Is it?
Yeah, I think there's a tunnel somewhere.
It's probably accessible. Come on, work. Oh, because I'm not on the regular. It's probably accessible here at this building on the edge. There's got to be a service tunnel. I have seen pictures of that. Because they have to get in there to fix the lifts for the barrier. Of course, we could say there's anything that has happened between now and the next 200 years before the fall. All right.
Something to investigate.
Yes. Other things you guys have discussed is making a bridge from the up here or here to the mainland to kind of tie in the pure plant on the island. to make that a direct asset. But maybe that comes when you've got a better relationship with the inhabitants. You've only got a new relationship with them. Okay, so in the last episode, we finished out the day, so it was nighttime when we ended because there was a lot of bad feelings and people separated, and it was the sun was beginning to go down when Trace ran a tour of the runway. Now, picking up from there, I don't know if you guys want it. I think Vinny might be broken as well. No,
I think he got 1 point back.
no, he's all right. He's got 4 out of 5 empathy, so everything else is fine.
Yeah, I bonded with Escarsion.
Oh, that's right.
Picks me up.
What is the state of him right now? Oh no, he's okay. All right. So, was there anything that you guys want to do on that evening, or shall we call it the next day?
Well, I had picked up that radio at one point. I'd want to go see Pontiac, or if I can't do it myself, about modifying my drone to add a two-way radio.
All right, but is that this evening or is that the next day?
I could maybe see while I'm giving Rand the tour, stopping by Pontiac to introduce them, and hey, I need some tinkering help.
Okay, so we'll pick up then from not the late evening, because it wasn't late when you were given the tour, but definitely getting into evening from that night. Okay, and what are the rest of you doing?
I'm just making sure the humans are well taken care of.
Right. With food, water,
Exactly, yeah.
place to stay amongst the weird mutants in the airplane.
Yep.
Okay. And what is Vinny doing? I don't know why I have to say that name like that, but I just do.
Even purifies it.
Vinny.
Vinny.
I think we kind of played it that I spent time finishing the annual rites. So that probably took me most of the night, and then I went to sleep.
All right. And therefore, I want to introduce you. These two tokens. So should see that one. That's Shirley. These two work with Pontiac. And that's Merrick. I thought I would just show you those
Cool.
2 new NPCs I've made. Now, they are in the list, the Runway ARC members, but I've made a note next to them. So Merrick's a human magnet and Shirley's electric, as far as the mutations go. And Callum, I just realized from playing, you don't know the other ARC leaders. So Pontiac is the gearhead. He runs, if you zoom in on your map, you see one called Pontiac Garage. Although I've spelled his name wrong, it's actually with a K at the end. I'll change that at some point, but yes. That's Pontiac. Quite an eccentric. Quite an eccentric sort of raccoon character. Has a personality kind of like an old prospector. And there's Maximon.
Well, Maximum was Idris Elba.
Yeah, played by Idris Elba, yes. This is Estrina, who is the head of the Chroniclers that McKellen works closely with. This is Marlotte. She's head of security. This is Muba, Maximon's bodyguard. 4 arms, 4 machetes. This is Ascarshan. This is the spiritual leader that Vinny has been getting close with. He runs a cult called Sentinels of the Apocalypse, whose belief is that we shouldn't be trying to be like the old ways, but start a new way. And let's see, a couple more. This is Sixter, who is a fixer, who works closely with Maximon. This is Yasan, who is a stalker that works with Marlotte. And finally, well, not finally, this is the Elder, who you haven't seen in a while. Well, you haven't at all because you haven't been born here, but you just know that he exists because they refer to him. And the other robot who's here is Katinka, who is medical. Well, medical is part of her skills. Anyway. So, you two end up at... You go by Pontiac's, and when you approach, there's some sort of commotion going on. There's some yelling, followed by, oh! Followed by, God damn it! Ah! Followed by a crash of metal on concrete, followed by a scream. And then a lot of muttering, talking. Can't really tell if it's a conversation. It just seems to be a one-sided conversation. The door, which is like a... well, this is was a hangar for repairing aeroplanes back in the day, but it's got a big sliding door, and that's quite often open when he's working, but not always. But he usually closes it in the evening time, even if he's in there working. But you can tell he's been busy and he's forgotten about it. And as you approach, you can see Shirley is working on something. It's like she's dismantling some item. You can't really identify it very well. She's got some tools in her hand. And as you approach, she looks up and sees you. And then just, boss! The metal people are back. Actually, there's another one. She's saying all this right in front of you. They're multiplying. And then she stands up, tool still in her hand, comes over to you. Hello there. She says this to you, Trace. And it's good to see you. Pontiac can't stop talking about you. But who is this? And she walks up to you, Rand, and she kind of walks around you, looking you up and down. I haven't seen one of these working. Do you have a name?
My name is Ran, and I'm gonna just shoot my arm up into like a handshake motion.
Polite too. And she shakes your hand. Do you have a controlled grip, or is it pretty strong?
Pretty strong.
Okay. It's like, easy, easy, easy. I'm not made of metal.
Apologies. I still learning.
That's okay. Cool. I like the chassis. And she's still just looking you up and down. She's still, I mean, Trace, you're not old news to her. She's still like, wow, mechanicals. And she leans in and says, Pontiac is really obsessed with you. He's kind of, he's in a bit of a mood. He's trying to, well, I'm not sure what he's trying to do, but he's working on something and he's not having a whole lot of luck. But you'll probably brighten up his evening. He's back over there behind that pile, you know, the one that reaches almost to the ceiling. Let me know if you need any help.
Will do. Thank you.
And she goes and sits back down, tool in hand, and she goes back to the device she was working on. You can hear another crash of maybe something metal, maybe tools or parts that's hit the ground, and Cummins from the area where Shirley said.
Gonna walk up to him and see him there. I'd imagine
You see his feet.
back is probably to see his feet. Okay.
He's underneath.
Well, I'm gonna
He's
squat down and see if I can see his head. And good evening, Pontiac.
Yeah, he's underneath the car that you donated to them. The Enforcer, I believe, is the name of it. One of the Hellrider cars. And you can hear him just muttering to himself, and you can hear he's talking to the car. You don't be difficult. Why is this here? Why? What? Oh! And he slides out pretty quickly, actually. Slides on his back, and he's got his jeweler's glasses. One lens is over his left eye, and he takes a moment to look at you, and he looks over at Ran. Well. And he mutters something you can't understand. It's under his breath. And he's like, hello? What can I do for you? And
I was wondering if you could assist me with some upgrades I'd like to do to my drone here.
And he's He's seemingly not paying attention to you as he's looking at Ran, and he reaches out and he's touching parts of your chassis, just following the lines of some of the tubing and hydraulics, and you just occasionally just, oh, I see.
My head's just gonna keep like going up and down, just looking back and forwards between him and Trace, just like, what's going on?
He's got a different hydraulic system than you. Different model. Looks like more geared to battle. Sorry, you were saying to your drone. What are you looking for?
Oh, my drone has a one-way radio, and while out in the zone, I found this loudspeaker. I was wondering if you could assist me with turning my radio into two-way.
Interesting. And how would you see it working? Just describe to me the scene. What would it do? Dream big, dream big. I like a challenge.
Well, right now I can hear noises, but it would be nice to be able to speak to someone should we need to send the drone out and find something. And we find a person and need to talk to them, to tell them we're coming, or have a conversation to see if the area is safe.
But you say you have this loudspeaker. Do you want it to be loud, what you say back? Like booming, shouting, or just a quiet conversation?
I would say a normal conversation. Don't want it to be too loud.
Well, do you have this loudspeaker with you now?
Indeed, I do.
And
I
he climbs up, because he's quite short compared to you two. And he climbs up on a counter near you. And there's all kinds of junk everywhere, all over it. And he's having to move stuff out of his way as he walks down along it. Follow me. And he goes to an area where you guys don't have electricity yet here. And he gets on this. He lights up like this gas arc lamp, and angles it down towards the countertop. Okay, place it here, right here. And he just keeps pointing to an area. He's kind of jumping about. You see, he's quite excited about a new challenge.
So I take the little sack I would have put the radio in, and I plop it on the table there.
Okay.
There you go.
And he's picking it up, turning it over in his hands, looking at all angles of it. And now, the drone. Do you mind? Where is your drone? Is it?
Oh,
You've mentioned it before, but I've never seen it.
so with that, I'm gonna take off my jacket that's covering it and turn around and show him, and have it come out and sit, land, crawl, whatever, onto the table.
The whole journey it makes, his eyes are just glued to it, and is just really big and excited, and his mouth is open, tongue hanging out a little bit. And as it gets closer, he's holding his hands out, kind of flexing his fingers, like, "Oh, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here." And just watches it land. And as it lands, he just puts his head down low and watches it. And he's like, "That's so cool." I'm just looking through his skill here. Okay. Okay, let me just make a roll for him. First to comprehend. Hope he understands. He does. I see. The loudspeaker part is quite easy, but tap it into the power structure and amplification ratio. And he's just babbling on. I think I can do this, but I'm going to have to test it out a bit, and then I'm going to need you to come back because you control this, right? It's not... Does this operate by itself?
No, I must control it.
Okay. Can you leave this with me?
Only if you guarantee me to take good care of it.
But of course.
I don't want to come back and find missing pieces.
Well, I must admit, I do want to see how it works, but you're bigger than me. Come see me midday tomorrow, and I will see if I have figured it out by then. And then we can test it if it works.
All right.
But, I propose a trade. I would really like, and now that I've met your friend, what is your name again? I didn't get your name.
My name is Ran.
Ran. Pleased to meet you. I am Pontiac.
Likewise.
I would like the opportunity to examine both of you. I've not really had much of a chance with you, Trace. I want to figure out how you both work. Would that be agreeable to you?
As long as you don't take me apart.
No. Right. You come back tomorrow, and then we'll see if I have a new toy for you, and then I could check to see how your hydraulic systems work. Deal?
Is acceptable.
He looks to you, Ran.
I nod my head down as a yes.
Excellent. Oh, yes, something new. A challenge. And he's instantly... Let's see, where's that part? He's oblivious to both of you right now. And he scurries about. Yes, over here. And I'll need this, and I'll need that. Shirley! And he runs off to find Shirley. And you guys are just stood there. Next to this car, which is next to one of his workbenches, your drone and your loudspeaker is sitting atop it, and he's rushing about. Do you stick around or do you move on?
I look at Ran. I think he's done speaking with us. He has a new project. Come on, let's go see if everybody has returned to the plane.
I'm just gonna follow wherever Trace goes.
To you, Ran, you've not been around organics that much, or at least not recently. It's all a little bit strange, the culture here. All right, so Vinny is probably still at the temple. McKellen would be probably still at the aeroplane looking after the humans.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Orson will still be in a mood.
Yeah, I've said my piece to him, so I'm just giving him space at this point.
Okay.
He's pouting.
He's pouting, yeah. This big old bear. All right. So, Trace, when you get back, you were headed to the plains, correct? The plane.
Yeah.
So,
Excuse me.
when you get back there, you mostly you see a lot of the Kodiaks just kind of sitting about. Some of them are talking. Some of them are just chilling out on their hammocks and makeshift beds. It's getting on towards evening as it is, but Vinny is nowhere, which isn't necessarily out of character for him. And you see McKellen. Did we determine, McKellen, that you could... I think we did a comprehend roll, didn't we, to see if you could basically understand them?
Yeah, it was something like that. Like, there was some similarity to like an older version of speech.
Yeah.
We've got some words in common.
Yeah. The way I describe it is kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen the film Cloud Atlas.
Yeah, yeah.
The way the future version, the language that Tom Hanks spoke in that.
I get you.
But a little bit less comprehensible than that. So, anyway, Trace and Ran. Although, Ran, you don't know this mutant, McKellen. But you see this quite bald, actually, mutant.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty fragile and gangly.
Can't
Pretty
climb a
bold.
flight of stairs.
No. Who is
So,
talking with these two humans that came from the island where you were trapped. They are eating and sitting down. This communication is trying to happen. Mostly about basic things. And this is-
Trace. Good to see you.
Go ahead.
Evening, McKellen. Well, bleh. I can't speak. Huh. Good evening.
Good evening. I was hoping you'd have a chance to introduce your new friend to me. It's good to see another mechanical out here.
Indeed it is. This is Ran. Ran, this is McClellan.
Ran, a pleasure.
I'm gonna raise my hand in a handshake motion.
Yeah, I'll shake his hand.
Crushing it. Even more fragile than Pontiac.
Like a snap. Snapping noise, and then sort of try and politely downplay it. Yeah, very nice to meet you.
The humans look up at you, Trace.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all again.
Although you don't speak perfectly their language, you understand them the best of all, Trace.
Hmm.
So, in gist, they are. You gather that they are thanking you for the hospitality, for the food, water, a place to sleep. And then they go on to talk about how they're quite fascinated with the. You can't quite place the word. Is it society? Is it culture? Is it family? You can't quite get the meaning of that word, but it means something along those lines. But you seem to think that they're referring to the entire arc. And you also gather from it they are very surprised. Their understanding of the world outside of the island was that it was nothing but violence and danger. And here you have and again the word is, group, and like function, work, survival, something in there, you can't quite place the word. But they don't speak a whole lot other than that, because the looks on their faces, they're just deep in thought. And they take their masks off, obviously, to eat, and you can see their faces. And
I'm going to explain to them that there are many dangers in the zone, and one must be careful out there. But this group of people here have come together for the common good of everyone.
they're just lost in thought with that.
Grace, I wonder if you could ask them something for me. I'd take out the Eden security card that I've got and show it to her, and then them. Have they seen this before? These words, this symbol.
So of course I take it from them and from McClellan and show it to them and ask them if they have seen this before.
They take it from you, and they look at it in the front, in the back. They turn it around. They pass it from one to the other. Their foreheads crinkled up in thought. And hold on, I lost the name. Wrong page. And they come back to, and you gather that they think they have seen this symbol before. Not entirely sure, but they're both in agreement that Luttrell, their leader, may know more. By the way, I have names for these two now. One is Maro, and the other was Lina.
I take the card back and return it and relay this info.
It's amazing. I'd very much like to speak to this Luttrell.
They look at you and they hear Luttrell. And they look
Would
at you.
you host us like we have hosted you?
Are you translating this, Trace?
Yeah, I'm just being the middleman here.
They look at each other first and speak back again through Trace. While we cannot speak for Luttrell, we feel like that he would be in agreement of this. When might we return?
Well, we will need to speak about when we can head back to the island, but I would like to go there as soon as I can.
And they nod. And you can still, I mean, the fact that you've been very nice to them and they're still quite careful, like they're not completely relaxed. Because there's all these other Kodiaks here, which the plane is full of them. Although they're not all home right now, they're all hanging about out in the Ark, some of them. I think some of them, quite a lot of them, aren't in the plane because of Orson having a tantrum. And they're just staying out for fear of being in the crossfire of it. And they finish their food that you've given them. And look at you again, McAllen, and nod their head, bow it. And you think they're saying thank you. Body language is playing a lot into this as well.
Thank you. We will find you somewhere to rest, and I'll make a sort of a sleeping gesture.
And they nod, shake their head like in a yes gesture.
And if it's not already been done, I make those arrangements. See if there's like a spare plane or something.
There's a corner that could be had on the existing plane here.
Yeah.
They're a bit loath to leave the plane, or loath to go anywhere without someone they know.
Yeah, I don't make them. I think they're probably safest with the Kodiaks.
And they settle down. What do you three do from this point? It's getting on, it's, past, well, you don't have a clock, but for player knowledge, it's past 9 o'clock now.
I think I'm waiting down for bed.
I'm gonna head towards the cockpit area where I normally hunker down, show it to Ran, and this is where Katinka and I have been staying. Probably should find a larger space now that you're here. Gonna get rather crimped.
Katinka
And
is
hard to
already
move.
there. Katinka is there already and is seated in one of the chairs. So there's 3 in here. player knowledge would be the pilot, co-pilot, then the navigator's chair. Katinka looks up when you come in, Trace. Oh. Hello, Trace. It is good to see you again.
Likewise. I would like to introduce you to Ran here. We found him at the Pure Plant.
And she stands up, takes a step forward, does a quick scan up and down, cocks her head to the side. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Ran. I am Katinka. I am Katinka RPS 236. I am a protocol droid.
I'm gonna raise my hand as I'm looking her up and down in like a handshake motion.
She reaches forward, and polite as well. You have manners. We're going to get along wonderfully. And she shakes your hand, and this is the first person who doesn't complain about your grip. How are you programmed?
Programmed for battle.
Left over from the wars?
I believe so. My memory has been a bit hazy.
Perhaps we could work on that.
Like that.
It would be buried, hopefully, within your memory banks, unless there has been some corruption. But I am more versed in the repair of organics than I am of mechanical. But it is good to see another mechanical. Perhaps, she looks at you, Trace, we could make a trip back to where you found me. Edmund may be able to help. No, she would say Edmund NPZ 306. Could be some of the systems there are still functional. We might be able to interact with the memory core of Ran. She would say the full name too. Ranger 261.
Indeed.
She turns
But
to... Oh,
I
go
will-
ahead. Go ahead, Sergeant Saul. Go ahead.
I will let Rand make that decision.
Of course. Ran, I fell from the sky with others in a station that orbited this planet. The humans, the organics on board, perished in the re-entry. But many of the mechanicals survived, and some of the systems are still intact. It is a little bit of a journey north of here. To walk it would take us a few days, but the organics have vehicles from the ancients. We could make the trip in just a few hours, if the organics are willing. But I will let that be your decision. Trace, I was just...
like to learn
Go ahead.
of
Sorry.
my past, but
Callum, I interrupted you. Can you say it again,
Yeah.
please?
that's good. Uh, I would like to learn about my past, and I think it would help. And yes, I would very much like to learn who I am.
Well, then it's settled. We shall ask the organics upon the next wake cycle they have. I was just thinking about my day. Whilst you were away, Trace, there was quite. She cocks her head to the side. A interesting situation. No, I'm not sure that is the correct word. The organics had quite an ordeal. Your friend McKellen was wrapped up in it, but they were infested with some sort of biological entity that affected their minds and it caused violence. I was able to neutralize this entity, but it makes me wonder how vulnerable they must be. So, I was thinking about how that might compare to a mechanical whose code had been corrupted. Do you find it dissimilar?
I do not. Very intriguing.
And how about yourself, Ran? There's something wrong with your voice processor. Ran? Are you okay? Are you functioning correctly? Sorry.
Little Fran.
Callum sent me a message. He had to take off for a second. He sends me personal messages when he does that. He just stood there, just does not compute.
I believe he is temporarily malfunctioned. I wonder if his batteries are drained.
Speaking of, I think I shall return to sitting to preserve my energy. I suspect the organics will be very active tomorrow. And she proceeds to sit back down. She's in the co-pilot seat. Not that.
Not that we would fight over seats.
No. I'm just gonna. All right. Are you? You fight over seats. Mine. No, that's mine.
Mom, Orson, she's sitting in my spot. Nothing, I'm not talking to you.
Okay. Okay. Um, right. McKellen had gone to bed. Orson was pouting. Vinny, you are at the temple still, finishing off the annual rites. When that is
Yeah, I'd probably sleep there.
sleeping in the temple. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is a game mechanic question. Have you already added the ability for scrying and all of this?
Yes.
And has that manifested in you yet? Like, have
Yes.
you've had your
I
first?
think. Yeah, we didn't really act it out, but we were saying that when I collapsed at the assembly, I got these like visions,
Oh yes.
but they were such a jumble I couldn't really figure out what it was, and that's what like part of the reason I broke down.
Got it. Okay. So you stay there in the temple for the night, and the next day comes. Oh, Callum, are you back?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, when you stepped away, Callum, Katinka had and Trace had decided to sit down to preserve their energy. Katinka in the co-pilot seat and Trace in the pilot seat, which left you the navigator seat. Should you wish to sit, you don't have to sit actually because you don't get tired, but it's up to you what you do.
I'm just stand in the corner.
Very ominous and mysterious. All right.
Yes.
The next day comes. Vinny, you awaken at the temple. First time sleeping there, I believe. How do you feel
Yeah,
after your
yeah.
ordeal?
Vinny feels born again.
He's going to start preaching.
He's starting to see the light of Ascarshan's ways.
And there's a little bit of activity at the temple. Some of the sentinels, some of them are coming in to meditate. They kind of come and go, but there's about 4 of them in there at the moment, in silence, sat facing towards the altar. You don't see a Scarshan, which isn't necessarily abnormal, but how do you begin your day, Vinny?
Well, the first thing Vinny thinks about, and he feels this inspiration as he wakes up, and he has a clear. He knows what he needs to do. What he needs to do is murder Maximon, and so his wheels are spinning. I think he would wake up and immediately start gathering the people around the temple to finish the burial site and kind of gather his thoughts. And
Okay, is it just people there at the temple you're looking for to help with that?
yeah, those few that you mentioned that were around, I would kind of try to gather them up and take them to where the graveyard is being built, essentially.
Okay. It takes them a moment to come out of their trance, but they eventually do. And then they nod in agreement, to follow you.
What was was it Chase who was the seer that had been murdered?
Let's see.
Or was that there were two names, I don't remember. Do you remember,
Yeah,
Room? Because he was kind of
Chase
your,
was murdered.
it was Chase. Because you had buried him at the end of last session, or the session before, I think.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned that.
Chase was a telepath. He wasn't a seer.
Oh.
I don't think that.
Oh.
I don't have
Wait.
any, and the dead list doesn't have any seers. There's two chroniclers,
there was-
an enforcer, a stalker.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally meant Chronicler when I said
That's
seer.
Ethan. Oh, there's also a
Oh,
Victor
okay.
and an Ethan. Victor was the one who was murdered. Ethan just died as one of our dice rolls.
What was Victor's mutant power? Do you know offhand?
I do. For some reason that's not written down. Why is it not on there?
It must have been blank. Because I just moved the rows.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll figure it out really quickly. There are...
Dice roll.
Yep, dice roll. There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're gonna roll murder.
Do you have a rollable table for mutations already built in?
Do I? Be surprised if there isn't, but I don't see one.
Yeah, I thought we had used one before for something.
Hold on. Let me look at the
Like it.
tables. Nope. Yeah, here we go. I do. Yes, we used it for Kodiak's. It's a telepath, even though it says Shirley.
So, I guess you can tell us how many hours it takes of like working on a project, but while doing so, I kind of feel something pulling me towards Victor's grave as I move past it, and I go in close, kind of look down, and I just have this urge to start digging, and I start digging into his burial site, where I find some of his bones.
Is this in front of the other sentinels?
Probably, yeah, it's like middle of the day, and it would just kind of be taking over my subconscious, so if there's other people working on it with me, then they would maybe see this.
Okay, let's, before we carry on with that, the rest of the PCs then, although, Rand, you wouldn't know about this project, but was there interest in you guys in contributing to this?
Yeah, I think so. Burial site was a priority.
Yes. All right. There's this scene I wanted to have with McKellen. Do I do this before this happens? No, I'll do it afterwards. Okay. So I'm reckoning works. It says a day, but I would think it's at least 4 hours on projects. So, McKellen, you can decide if you're nearby Vinny while this is happening, but some of the sentinels see it. And you wouldn't hear it, Vinny, because you're in a little bit of a state, you're in your own little world, but they're like, what the hell? What's he doing? But because people are kind of scared of you in general, they're not interfering with you.
Yeah.
and they're just kind of watching and kind of moving away from it. McKellen, if you didn't notice it, you do notice some of the sentinels together just looking in a direction, but they're kind of they're walking away from it, but they keep looking back over their shoulder towards an area. There's
yeah,
enough.
I guess
Go ahead.
if I'm going to the burial plots, then I will approach seeing this.
Approach what, the sentinels or Vinny?
Vinny.
Okay. So you see him digging into a grave.
Like frantically with my hands, and it's your friend, the chronicler too.
Vinny, what the hell are you doing?
Calling to me. I can hear him. I can hear him. And my nails
Not
and hands are
here.
getting all bloodied.
He is beyond hearing, Vinny.
You don't hear it?
I'm gonna read Vinny's mind.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's just one for surface thoughts.
Yep.
Find the thing. There we go.
Everything goes okay. All right.
Yeah, what are your surface thoughts?
He in his mind, you can tell that he is hearing the voice of Victor, like speaking to him, but he can't understand what it's being said. He just feels this, and he's like, I have to get to Victor.
Leave him be, Vinny. He's gone through enough without you digging him up.
But he's calling me. He's trying to tell us something. And I think I would finally, after a minute of this, like, get through just enough to that, like, maybe his face is showing.
Yeah, it's
And I, like,
peeking up out of the dirt.
I'm gonna head up and try and grab the spade, but as has been established, I'm pretty frail, so...
You can grab the spade, but
out of my hand.
Just trying to stop you digging.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so I think, like, in reaction, I, like, grab you, and you suddenly, I'm gonna mind terror you, and you just get these visions of Chase's, like, final moments during his death that nobody actually witnessed, but you're seeing really clearly. I'm just gonna do one mutant point to do it.
Ethan's final moments.
yeah, that's what he meant.
Nothing happens.
Which upsets you.
So you get just one. I'll inflict confusion on you, so you have 1 point of confusion.
That witch damage.
I believe so.
Yes, it is. It is.
I forget what confusion does, because I know doubt affects their ability to, when you roll to manipulate them. I don't know what confusion affects mechanically.
Confusion is lack of clarity. It's bewilderment and misjudgment.
Vinny, get out of my head!
And then I do one final, like, jabbing motion with the spade into his, like, jaw, and I break out a chunk of his teeth. And I pull them up, and I have my first vision as I'm holding them in my hands.
Damn.
And how does that? What does it look like? What do you look like while you're having a vision?
I probably just go completely still with my eyes closed. It almost looks like I'm in a frozen trance. Like if you push me, I just don't even respond. And it probably only lasts a few seconds. But I'm gonna roll scry. Oh right, and so my vision. I'm picturing a mutant who I know but don't know the name of, but I see him, and he's part of Maximon's crew. And I'm seeing him in Maximon's room stealing bullets. And then my vision transitions into him in Sixer's room, and he's like hiding these bullets in kind of a secret stash. And then I come out of the trance. I shake my head, and I probably fall backwards, and I just have Victor's teeth like in my hand still.
Tightly gripped.
Yeah. McKellen, did you see that?
What? I saw you desecrating our dead, my friend.
No,
Let go
he
of
was
him.
calling to me. Victor wanted me to see this. He wanted me to have these. And I like open my palm and look at the teeth.
Take his teeth.
I don't know. I don't understand either. I just know that this is supposed to happen.
You had better be a victim of the mind parasites, because if not, you have crossed a line here, Vinny.
I stand up. Say, there are no lines in this world, McKellen. You're delusional. This is something that was meant to happen. It's part of the greater plan. I can feel it.
You're going to realize the importance of lines when crossing one costs you dearly. The way you're going, that's going to happen.
Better than being a slave to Maximon's vanity. I'll do whatever it takes to make sure this arc succeeds without him.
Your vision of success is tearing this place apart.
How can you say that? How can you think that? You know that Orson would be a better leader than Maximon ever could hope to be. It's probably him who defiled the Elder's mind and put him in the state that he is. I know he's behind it somehow. Victor knew it. That's why he was killed.
Orson is a strong leader, made weak by seeds of chaos and doubt being sown in his mind.
Well, that's why he has me. To protect him. I'll do whatever it takes.
Who do you think is growing those seeds?
It's like scowl at you.
Give me that. And I reach out for the jawbone.
No! Oh man, you're gonna
then
attack you again.
I puppeteer him.
Oh dear. Mutant fight!
Oh, dear.
What
Now
did you say you're
taking
gonna
this.
do?
I'm gonna puppeteer you. Do you want to like an initiative versus for that? So I was-
Yeah, we better do that. Let me add you guys to a combat tracker. PvP!
I love it.
Haven't had this one yet. Close, I mean, with there you go. You guys are in the combat tracker. You can roll your initiative.
is that just an agility check? Can't
No, there's a dice. If you go to the combat
Oh,
tracker,
yeah.
the crossroads.
So there is.
Nice.
Okay, begin combat. It does a combat timer on this one, but if you guys are ready, begin.
So if I'm puppeteering him by one to get him to hand me the jaw.
Okay, that's a single MP spend, I believe.
Yeah. Just see if it explodes.
It explodes.
We're okay.
Okay, And he has no resistance to that. He has to give it to you. Is this for
I think so, yeah. It's a weird kind of system.
I
understand?
do it without even realizing I'm doing it, basically. I'm just suddenly handing it over to you.
Yeah, and then I'd sort of turn to lean back into the grave to like restore his body.
No, those are mine! And my jaw begins to like open up really wide, disjointing, and I jump on top of you, wrap my face around yours.
It was frightening.
I'm gonna steal your mutation.
Oh,
Alright, 1 base die.
Uh-oh.
Yes! Ooh, let's see what this does. Mutation misfire.
Twice the
Damn
amount
it.
of MP.
Fuck. Never gonna get a new mutation.
There's a chance, Callum, that using a mutation could cause you to gain another one, which is what Unicorn wants more than anything.
It's true.
And every mutation you get degrades your physical well-being. But that's okay.
Are you only a telepath, McKellen? Did you have another one? I don't remember.
They're 2 different powers, so I've got telepathy and puppeteer.
Oh, right. Telepathy and puppeteer.
So,
I definitely steal puppeteer.
so how do you get to use it this round? I forget how that works.
I don't think so. I think I have to wait till... oh, I just was looking at it. 1 sec. Let's see. It says, steal a mutation. You can use the mutation in the next turn. After that, the victim gets it back. So McKellen gets to go again first.
But he can't use that mutation.
Right.
And you took Puppeteer.
Yes.
Okay. McKellen, you're up.
Ooh. I'm gonna turn around and yeah, as he's so have you physically sort of tackled me and have you got like your mouth up to my skull?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty frightening. So I'm gonna sort of struggle with you and use telepathy to fry your brain a bit. So I'm just gonna spend 4 points on that.
You
Oh,
4
God.
points.
I need to knock him out. He's eating me.
And that's all goes
So
very
4 points
well
of wits
then.
damage.
To
For
do
point-
empathy damage?
Wits, I think. Let me just double check.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna fuck me up.
Is there 1 point of confusion per mutation point? So far.
Yeah, it's wits then.
That breaks me.
Okay, what happens if you get broken with that? I forget. We haven't had this one in a while. Hold on. Broken.
Conflict and
Your
trauma.
brain is overloaded and you can't think straight. When broken, you cannot use any skills, perform actions, or activate mutations. Not even reactive ones. You can, however, perform 1 maneuver per turn. And
Cover, get an item, draw a weapon, aim, move, use an item. Do you see Vinny just like, he comes off of you and he's just like holding his head and seems just really disoriented, but kind of reactively pulls out his scrap knife and just starts like waving it around in front of him as if to like protect himself and thinking he's under attack.
And then I stumble away from Vinny, get to my feet, and sort of dash off wildly. In very
That was
sort of
amazing.
limpy kind of fashion. And I think normally what I'd do is go to Orson in this situation, but probably best not if Lack's not here.
yes.
I have to roll a 1d6 to see how long it takes to recover my 1 wit. Or I can get a healing roll from someone. Good, 4 again. Jesus. I probably like at that point also Well, McKellen, do you still have the jaw with you when you run off, or did you put it back in the grave?
No, I put it. Well, I probably dropped it in the grave because I was
Okay.
about to put it back.
When I attacked you, yeah.
yeah.
So Vinny like reaches down and grabs the jaw and then like runs off back into the temple.
Yeah, you need at least 4 hours of sleep, and then that restores all your lost wits.
I think just to piss everyone off, I'm going to go to maximum.
All right. First, though, let's. So, are you not going to complete a shift of work on the burial sites then? Both of you, I guess.
I was kind of thinking that happened at the end of us like being really close to like basically finishing it or like our job that day for it when that happened to me. So I don't know if you want us to just roll it.
Okay, let's do that then. So we need a. Oh, where was it? Here it is.
Manipulation or heal, I think.
Yeah, manipulation or heal roll. Oh, in the combat, by the way. Wow. And I'll roll for the.
I'm gonna push it. Ah,
Well, at least there's no damage.
it really needed mutation points though. Fuck.
Let's see.
Oh,
Let's see. I'm going to. Oh, yes. I'm going to roll for the Sentinels. And I need one more success, and you've achieved this.
nice.
There we go.
There you are. We now have a burial site at the end of today's work. And that's a D6 added to culture. Which one of you two wants to roll it?
You
Want to do it,
succeeded.
Rim?
Go for it.
1d6. Nice.
That puts your culture at 15.
Perfect. That's a. Oh man, we needed 6. That's so awesome.
And what does that do for you? There we go. Culture. Now, most of the people can read and write to a basic level. Some forms of cultural expression, like a place of worship, simple staged plays, or exhibitions of scrap and artifacts, may exist. Well, that paves the way for your pen and ink, and
Mm-hmm.
because people can now read and write to a basic level. So we're looking at like equivalent of like a 12-year-old maybe. Does that mean they can understand language of the ancients? Yes, it does. Cool.
Exciting.
Yeah, so there you go, Callan. This is the runway. It's like a character sheet for the entire arc that you're all part of. 4 stats, which I've explained to you before anyway, but okay. At the next assembly, then you'll have new project superpose, which is pen and ink, or paper and ink, sorry. Okay, so that conflict's going on. Let's go to the mechanicals, or at least Trace. Because what has just occurred with him is actually occurring. What had just occurred with McKellen and Vinny has occurred after the point at which Pontiac said to return. So there's activity that you can do that's happening concurrently. What do you wish to do?
Um, well, it sounds like it's time to return to Pontiac, so I would return to his garage.
Rand, do you go with her?
Um, I guess I do, yeah. I said I'd let that guy go over my hydraulic system, so
Oh, yes. To paw over you. Literally, paw.
the irony.
And, yeah. Let's see. Oops, I zoomed in too far. I need both of you to make scan rolls. This is while you're walking.
Well, shit.
There it is.
There it is. Okay, so if you click, now this may not be relevant, but if you click where you rolled in the dice chat there's a little word stunts. If you click that and scroll up, then you can, there's instructions. So you've got 2 successes there.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, it's how many questions I can ask, isn't it?
yes, but since you don't know why I had you
Okay.
roll this, you don't really know what to choose from. So I'm going
Yeah.
to give you one of them, and then from that you'll get to ask one. So I'm going to let one of these successes be to detect something, and then you'll get to ask one question on top of that. So what you see, I'm going to get back to this. So as you are walking through, so if you go to the map of the runway here, coming from the plane that's marked the Kodiaks, you would walk down to the left side of the terminal, between the terminal and the wall that's been set up, and then you're walking back around the back to Pontiac's garage. Now, around the terminal on this side, there's always all kinds of activity because it's the common area for the entire arc. So there's crowds of people moving about, and there's all eyes on you two because people are still not sure what to think about 2 mechanicals who are unpredictable in their minds, living within the walls. So far, it hasn't been dangerous. But while Trace is oblivious, Ran notices two mutants, not side by side, at different spots, eyes glued to you. And I'll drag out their tokens so that you can see them. Well, I'll just show you their artwork. So you see this man. And this woman. Just watching you. Now, being watched is something that you've just accepted as normal. You just think that's a property of organics. But these two are extra focused on you. Now, one of them is sat on top of the elevated monorail, looking down at you. I don't know if I can get my pointer small enough, but it's right there in the center of that, which is not very detailed. As you walk across this open square here outside the terminal building. The other one is kind of against the terminal building, right above the T of terminal. Leaning against, but kind of not crouched down. I don't mean that. But there's like some crates up next to the terminal, and is slightly obscured behind it, but is watching you closely. Now, the one on top of the monorail track is the woman, and she's got some binoculars looking at you. And the other one doesn't have that, but he's a little bit closer to you anyway. So now we go back to your list of stunts. You've noticed those two. So what of those questions would you want to ask me?
So I get to choose from them 3, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Are there more of them close by?
Okay, yes. I thought you'd choose that one. That seems to be the most logical. And the answer is no. Or at least not in this area as far as you can see.
Right. Okay.
Trace, you see Rand's, or you observe in your peripheral vision, Rand's head moving left and right and looking about.
What is going on?
I know people watch us constantly, but I feel like I'm getting more than watched right now. And then I'm gonna just try and, as discreetly as possible, point out the woman and the man just eyeballing me.
It is not unusual for the organics to watch us. Even though I have been here for a short while, it's still very new for them.
Yes. Maybe so, but I just doesn't feel right.
Then we shall keep an eye on them.
Trace, make 2 processor rolls. I think that would be the right... hold on. Because that's just your...
Just Trace or both of us?
Just Trace, because you haven't lived here. You won't know. I'm seeing if she knows them. Let's see. No, it wouldn't be that.
Processor and network.
I'll be right back.
The processor is the same as wits. That's why I was choosing that one. There's not a skill that really... data mine. Do a data mine roll. Which you don't have any points in that, so it's still a processor roll. 2 of them, in fact.
Look.
You can push.
Oh, I've got some damage already. I don't want to risk more damage.
No.
Like that.
You have no idea who they are, what faction they might be with, or if there's anything untowards. Alright. And, Rand, you notice that the eyes of those 2 follow you. You feel like they're unaware that you have noticed them. And you guys round the corner of the southern part of the terminal and turn left and head towards Pontiac's garage. And then you're out of sight of both of them. It's not that far to Pontiac's garage from there. And you arrive and he's singing or humming just He's hammering with a wrench in rhythm. Trace, your first thought is that he's hammering on your drone.
Oh, if he is damaging my drone, we're definitely gonna have words, as they like to say. So I'm gonna yell out when we enter the door, Pontiac!
I'm back here! And you notice... I forgot the name now already. Both Merrick and Shirley here are working, although they're not working with Pontiac. Merrick wasn't there last night. Shirley was working late. And Pontiac runs up to you just as soon as you cross through into the door, really excited on his face. Come in. I think I may have succeeded, but I need you to try it out.
Okay.
And I need to make a roll for him. I've not rolled it because I wanted to make sure that... but he thinks he's done it. Okay, let's see. Let's do the roll. Why is it... hold on. What gear has he got that's give me that? He's got a gear bonus from something. I don't know really what it is that's giving him that. Is it the artifact? Oh, gear. Yeah, the wrench. It's +3 to the jury rig skill. But that's +3. Where's the +1 coming from? Just making sure the code's working. Tools? Well, I don't know why it's saying that. That's weird. Jeweler's glasses, maybe. That's it. It's jeweler's glasses. That's what it is. That's why he gets +4. Got it. Okay. So, he's actually really good at this stuff.
I would hope so.
Yeah. But it is quite complex stuff for him, so I'm giving him a negative penalty.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Oh. What
Wow,
item
this
was
is-
he using?
Well, it hasn't broken unless he pushes it, so he's got his a wrench from the ancients or his jeweler's glasses. So if he pushes it, I'm gonna have to roll to see which one of them damages. So Callum, that explosion looking symbol there, that means if you, and then the two hazard symbols.
Hello.
If he pushes, the two hazard symbols damage the attribute that's related to the skill, and the attribute is wits. So it can be kind of confused and disoriented, and then also it will permanently damage one of the devices he was using if he pushes it. So prior to that, he's like, all right, give this a try. Fire it up. Or I could alternatively say he's just broken one of your items. Ooh. That won't go down well with Trace.
Break the radio, not my drone.
So try it out. Try it out. Try it out. See if you can engage the drone and see if you can talk through it. Yes.
Okay, so I engage the drone, do a little test flight to make sure it can still fly.
It can. I won't make you expend an energy point for this because it's just in the area.
Cool. I was just about to say. Alright. So then to see if the radio's working, I'm gonna just fly it to the shop to Shirley and say, "Hello, Shirley. Can you hear me?"
And you hear Shirley. Boss, there's this flying thing. What's it doing? And
Well,
you hear her come through that.
well, Pontiac, I am sad to say it appears the radio, the two-way is not working. I can still hear Shirley, but she cannot hear me.
What? And he runs over to Shirley. Did you not hear her through the drone, the flying thing that you called it? Hear what? Trace spoke to you. I didn't hear anything. Ah! Damn it. He comes back. Okay, bring it back. Let me try it again.
I bring it back and land it on the table.
And let me figure out which bit of gear we are going to damage. All right, here we go. I'm gonna roll a d4 because the jeweler's glasses is a +1 and then the wrench is a +3. So if it's a 1, it's his glasses that are broken. And then 2, 3, or 4, it's the wrench. The wrench. He's broken part of the wrench. So there's a small chunk that comes out of his wrench. Ah! No! And you can see he's just... He looks really confused. It's like, why didn't that work? Try it again. Try it again.
So, same as last time. Have it fly off the table and then go over to Shirley and... Hello, Shirley. Can you hear us this time?
Loud and clear, Trace. Does it work then? Well, of course it would. I guess I wouldn't have heard it. Boss, you've done it. She comes running over and you look back and Pontiac is sat on his countertop and he's leaned back against an oscilloscope, which doesn't work because there's no electricity. And he's got his wrench in his hands. And he's looking at it. He's crying a little bit. Stupid wrench. Shirley, look. I broke part of it. Yes, you did, boss, but at least it works. You've managed... Boss, grasp this. You've modified a mechanical. I'll say it again. You've modified a mechanical. And his eyes widen up. Oh, yeah. But you can tell he just looks still a little bit bewildered from it all. And well, Trace, I have done it. But hold on. He looks at you, and so now, are you still good for your end of the bargain?
Absolutely.
And so he quite literally starts pawing over the both of you. And Rand, you're not damaged at all. All right. It just is a constantly interesting. That's how that. I see. And he does. He sometimes there's subtle little taps from his wrench, but nothing that causes damage. And he's sometimes with his jeweler's lens down, and sometimes up on his forehead. And he's Trace. It looks like you are damaged.
Indeed, I am. While we were at the pure plant, I acquired a bit of damage.
Well, do you need to fix it?
Indeed, I do. I just have yet not taken the moment to do so.
Well, there's all kinds of parts around here if you need any spare parts, although I don't really have any mechanical parts, but there's things that might be modified.
I very much appreciate the offer. I will have to take a look and see if there is anything I can use. Otherwise, I will have to make a trip back to Skywheel.
Now, your repair program, you just roll it, and you have to and you can fix as many attribute points as the number of successes you get, but you must spend the same amount of energy points to do so.
Okay.
And you can roll multiple times until you fail a roll, or you are fully restored, or you run out of energy points. And
Well, shit.
and you can keep rolling, although it just takes time each time. So
Well, this is going to take a while.
Ran is no help. You've got no repair program and a network of
Right.
one. You have one dice you can actually roll.
Oh,
One
hey,
point?
there's one. 1 point.
Oh,
So-
you know what? Okay, I'll go ahead and let you
Hmm.
have it. But I forgot. I told you you can keep re-rolling until you fail a roll. And your first roll and second were both a fail, but I didn't stop
Oh.
it. So I'll let you fix. You can heal one of those servos or
Okay.
stability up by one.
I did the stability up by
All right.
one.
Okay. That's all you can do. And then you need to spend one
Okay.
energy point.
Done.
And you can make a note that your hover drone now has a two-way radio system in it.
Okay.
And if you right-click on it, you can bring up a pen and paper, and then you can make notes on it. There's like another
Yeah.
pen and paper icon, if you wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah, I got it.
Cool. Rand, it was a little bit weird having this little talking raccoon going over your entire systems. But logged into your processor, to your memory banks, is this organic possesses the ability, after seeing what he did with Trace, to perhaps modify you or to repair you. And his curiosity seems to be that that would make it an easy task to arrange, that it wouldn't take much convincing from him. All right. I'm going to leave you two right there for the moment. Unicorn, if you wanted to retcon that push, I don't know if your character sheet, because I don't know if there's a time limit. You've done other things since then.
Right. I've rolled since then, so I can just roll 3 base dice and see what comes up.
What would be left from...
I rolled 5 dice and 2 successes, so I can try to push the 3.
But what were they? Green or yellow in your success? I'm trying to find it, and I can't find it.
Oh, they're yellow. They're base dice.
So you got 2 green dice in your success then.
No, 1 base, 1 green.
Okay.
I only have 1 point in scry because when you take that talent, you just get 1 skill.
Oh, of course. Oh, and you've got 3 left.
Wow.
Look at
Okay,
you.
so I'm trying to get mutant points, not successes. It's like the opposite of how you play any other game. I love it.
Yeah, but that's a... Scry is... I
just got to remember I have 3 scry successes for when I enable my
But
plan.
Scry isn't a mutation, it's a skill. You wouldn't get mutation points from it.
When you push a skill in Biohazard, you get mutation points.
Yeah, you won't
That's
be
why
able
I'm
to mutate
pushing
from
everything.
it, but you can get the points.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that rule.
Cool
Okay.
cycle.
All right. Yeah, I just make a note that you got 3 scry points. Okay, we're just past the halfway point, so I wondered if you want to take a little break here.
Yes, I could use coffee and water.
Okay.
Same plan.
Okay, and we're back. Okay, McKellen, where did you go to when you left the burial site?
So I think I changed my mind. I think I'm going to go speak to Estrina.
Interesting. Because I already had some plans for Estrina and you today. And Vinny, where did you go, by the way?
Vinny just like runs into the temple screaming for Skarshin to help him.
Technically, the temple is in the terminal, I believe. Didn't we build it into Lost and Found or something like that? Or the gift shop?
Gift
Yeah, I
shop,
think it was Lost
yeah.
and Found.
Oh,
Gift
did
shop
they-
sounds right.
I think it was like a play on the like this is where you find yourself.
We talked about like 3 different things, and it was like session 2.
Yeah,
I don't remember what we ended up on.
I don't either. But yeah. Okay, I want to jump to McKellen. And you come back into... So the Inner Sanctum is where the Chroniclers are based. And they're kind of like... The Elder's Room is central to that. And then you have to go through the Chronicler's area before you ever get to the Elder. So it's kind of like a defense of him. And there are... how many Chroniclers are left? 15 of you, including... Not including... And that includes you, but it doesn't include Estrina. So 16 total. And... When you get back to there... Into the Chronicler's base... It's going to be very early afternoon at this point.
Okay.
And you see meeting with Estrina, 2 of your fellow chroniclers, Dante and Angelica. And they're in deep conversation. And they all 3 look up to you.
Sisters, brother, am I missing a meeting?
Estrina is, McKellen. Glad you're here. I was looking for you earlier, but
That's
I could really use your insight. You have
those
wisdom.
are yours.
We were just discussing the attitude of the Ark of late. And we were all very uncomfortable. We feel like the fabric of the Ark is tearing apart.
I share this sentiment. Things have been strained, to say the least.
It's just... This is not what the Elder wanted.
No.
Somehow we need to unite the people. Instill a sense of community.
I believe the people need to be reminded of the hope that the Elder instilled in us when we were young. They have forgotten the tales of Eden and think that they were but children's stories. But I feel it. I know we are close to finding it.
How can
On
you be
you
certain?
guessed. I have already spoken of how, in assembly, the
Oh yeah, I forgot.
the Elder imparted upon me that Eden was the source, and we have found the first real tangible links to discovering its location. Plus our new guests from the island at
What about them?
Kodiak's and people. They believe that their leader, a man by the name of Luttrell, may know more. They have seen the same symbol on the on this key that I bear, and I'll show them the security key card. They have seen that symbol elsewhere.
And this Luttrell, he is on the island where the water came from.
As I understand it, yes. If we can keep the people going, keep them together long enough, we can show them there is a light at the end of this hope.
We're united for a common cause. I mean, that has the chance of bringing people back together.
That is what I believe.
How do you suppose the group that you run with will be making a trip back to the island soon, or shall the chroniclers, it'll be the first time for it, but should we launch our own mission?
That is a good question. I think the Kodiaks are best placed in terms of abilities to make the expedition, but then I do have my own doubts about certain elements of the group. But I don't think if we were to lose more chroniclers within the zone, that would certainly be a great loss.
Agreed. Who do you doubt within the Kodiaks?
Well, that is why I was coming to seek you out, Estrina.
More disintegrations.
Well, I take it you were at assembly yesterday.
I was.
And you witnessed Vinny's attempt to destabilize the Ark.
Vinny is one I have not fully trusted from the very beginning, even when we were children.
He is the one I have my doubts about. I thought his ambition could lead to some good if it was pushed in the right direction, but it seems like he wants it's all or nothing. And with the steps that he is taking, may crumble things further. And we have a separate issue beyond his ambition. Earlier, just now, I caught him desecrating the grave of the fallen.
What?
He seemed to have some kind of bout of... I'm not sure what you'd call it. Psychic resonance, I suppose. I read his mind, and it was not a bluff. He seemed to be hearing the voices of the dead, and that he claims drove him to desecrate the body and remove Ethan's jaw from his corpse.
Both Dante and Angelica just look at you with their mouths open, just shocked.
And on confronting him about this, he attacked me with his parasitic powers.
We have to act fast before we no longer have an Ark. And for the Ark goes,
I don't know.
we are in
I don't
great
know
danger.
what form that action should take. I had briefly thought to go to Maximum with this. He's best placed to detain wrongdoers, but after yesterday's events, people don't need another display of power, I suppose.
Well, that would further the conflict between the two groups.
Exactly. I don't want to be the spark of a gang war.
Desecrating a burial site. That's the whole reason we set one up, is to remember them.
Absolutely.
Do others know?
No, just the three of you. Unless some sentinels were nearby. But I'm not sure if they caught sight of this business. I'm of the mind to plan an expedition to the island to speak with this Luttrell, and I think I'd rather Vinny went along with keep him out of the Ark. With Orson in tow, he's not going to act out, but
Do you think
if
that
I
he
can
would...
speak to if I can speak to Orson about dealing with the matter internally, I could keep things from spiraling out of control.
Do you feel that you are in danger from Vinny?
So I pause for quite a while and then shake my head. I don't think it's reached that point.
It used to be a lot more clear.
It did.
Even when the
Since
Elder
the El-
first went ill, it was still functional.
But it's been so long since he spoke to the people. It's a thread unraveling.
She gets a bit teary-eyed. The Ark has been all that we've known. Maintaining order. It was always easy. It gave me a sense of stability living within the zone. This only makes me want to work as hard as I can to make sure that it stays.
I think we all share that feeling.
Well, I agree with you. Eden is a source to bring us together, and maybe the strongest. These community projects we have been doing have been a major help, yes. I have heard the people talk, the sense of well-being, knowing that having a burial ground and honoring those we have lost, and talking to the people, they are feeling more at ease with it, especially with our recent loss of 2 that have been murdered, and those that have died out in the zone on expedition. It's not too late. It's not too late yet.
No. No, it is not too late.
Perhaps if Orson can slow down Vinny's I don't know what you would even call it. Power quest, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know how much does Orson share the same. He did ask Vinny to speak.
No. But Orson is a straightforward person. I think his animal instinct does make him think he is best placed to be in a position of power. But the way he operates is not. It is not complicated. He will do the right thing by his people, and with me, with my advice, I am sure I can temper any foolish decisions he may consider.
All right, very well.
What do you make of this vision, or that Vinny was able to hear the words of the dead? I would have initially thought that he was bluffing, but my own powers confirmed that he was not.
What are you talking about?
When he took the jaw from Ethan's body, he seemed to have some kind of seizure, and I looked upon his mind, and he was hearing the voice of Ethan, and that is unlike any power I am aware of.
Oh, I think he's been hanging out with Oscarshan too much.
About much, I certainly agree. Asgartian is another element of the arc that I have many doubts about.
As do I. The exact opposite in pursuits is what we here in the Chroniclers are pursuing, and what I felt the Elder wanted.
We do not often take a political stance in the matters of the gangs, but this seems like a good time to ask. If I return from this expedition to the island with news of concrete evidence of Eden and where we might find it, will you stand with me in calling for pursuit of it against Oscarshan's objections?
Without
Which I'm sure will come.
hesitation. If the Elder said that is the origin, then... McKellen, do you realize your interaction with the Elder, that is the closest thing to him giving us his teachings since he became ill. It is a message from him.
It was a weak connection, and it was only by viewing his mind that I was able to get this information from him. But I could see the recognition in his eyes when I showed him the symbol of Eden.
That I take to be a sign.
As do I.
Very well. See about making this trip to the island then.
I shall.
And see if Orson could calm down Vinny.
Yes. I hope that is possible.
That
Be
is
well,
the only
brothers.
thing I think we can do. Sorry, what'd you say, Room?
I was just saying, be well,
Oh.
sisters, brother.
And to you.
And I take my leave unless there's anything else I wanted to go about.
Okay. Let's go to Trace and Ran. You're in Pontiac's garage. You have finished your business there? Is that right?
I am.
Supposedly he's finished looking us over.
Yeah, he's done with that. He's done pawing at you. Learning. He's actually kind of wiped out from his depression from breaking his tool and not being able to fix or to make the jury rig as quickly as he thought he was. So when you leave, so go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna thank him for making the modifications to my drone, and should I happen across another wrench like that one while out in the zone, I will make sure and acquire it for him.
Thank you. I mean, you gave me an entire Loudwagon. So a wrench, that would be grand. do you two go back the same way that you came?
Yes.
And where are you going? You're heading back to the plane?
I would think, given I'm the only translator for the visitors, I'd kind of want to go seek them out to make sure they've got somebody that can translate for them and help them out.
Ran?
So I'm gonna head back to the plane.
Or are you going to the same place, Ran?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll need you both to make scan rolls, but this time with a +1. So when you do a modification, Callum, you do it on the green dice. Mods are always on the green dice.
Got it this time.
Just saw your comment, Unicorn. Now, why is it when you make a comment, it shows your name as Vinny Finster? No, I guess when you do a dice roll as a player's.
I'll have myself selected right now.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I got myself selected, and that roll showed up under my name.
I wish it would be different. Oh well. Anyway, Callum, can you make a scan roll +1?
Yeah, I am. I'm just waiting for my computer to catch up.
Oh, it's giving trouble again.
You said on the green dice.
Yep.
Do I exceed? Because I've already got a war actually.
You've already got what?
So I have the 1 to skill, and then I have
Yeah.
the 5 to base.
Yeah, you don't.
So
You leave the base alone.
I
You just modify the green one. You just add 1 more on top of what it already says. And I think if you're not careful, it'll replace the. So you don't want to do that. You want to add 1 more.
It's just loading right now. So.
You need a new computer.
Really?
That's a long time of loading.
Oh no. It's barely just getting Tracer's dice off my screen, yeah.
Wow.
You want to put your settings on. I don't know if the settings are the same for both games like you did last night. You may want to go and check that for this game.
I'll say too, is there a way to deactivate 3D dice rolling? Because if that's probably single-handedly destroying you.
I did.
And then things like the smoke and fog.
Let me see. Let's see. So, I'd set your performance mode to the lowest, to low, and your frame rate should be no more than 30. You can make it lower. I don't know what it will do.
Like a Lara Croft game.
Where is
It's under.
How do you change that?
It's under the gear. Under configure settings. It's some of the first. It's like the 15th or 16th thing down.
Oh, just under all. Okay.
No,
Scroll.
I wonder if yeah, under dice so nice you can untick the enable 3D dice on inline rolls.
Yeah.
Allow interaction with rolled dice. There's also 3D dice settings.
It's actually working.
Oh yeah, if you go to 3D dice settings, you can untick enable 3D dice. There you go.
You know, I'm sorry.
Is it doing anything, man?
I'm just trying to get through the menus right now. It takes me about 10 to 15 seconds just to get between each screen.
Go ahead and just roll it for him.
Yeah, maybe I better roll it for you. Of course, you know what's going to happen as soon as I do. It's going to be really bad.
Oh, and if you even touch the character, it goes bad.
Yeah, so you want me to do it?
Yeah, do it.
All right,
'Cause I'll be
scan.
it forever.
So instead of a scan with 1 dice, you guys scan with 2 dice. And I failed. Yeah, that's the bad thing. But Trace,
I had a success.
yes, you did. Those same 2 people, you notice again watching you closely, and they have moved in a position. So one of them, I need to move my Kellen's token here. There we go. And I'll move the Kodiak's token back out of the way. So one of them who was sitting on the monorail track over here had actually moved to up here to be able to keep an eye on the garage. And the other one is up on the monorail track, up close to the station, the monorail station. But you notice both of them looking at you. And I want you to make a data mine roll again. Just trace. Twice. And then once more. Man,
Well, shit.
you are a dumb robot. No. Sorry, I mean to be so rude.
Nah, that's okay.
Definitely better.
You only have 2, definitely meant it. You only have 2 dice, so that's easy to understand. Okay, you guys make it back to the aeroplane. Vinny, let's jump to you.
Escartion, help me! Please, where are you? Escartion!
And you see him, he's in the temple, and he turns slowly, staff, i.e. hockey stick, in hand. Turns and looks at you and... Vinny?
I just go collapse at his feet in a
Well-
heap.
What troubles you, my son?
Jaw. I have the jaw in my one hand and my knife in the other. There's almost crying even a little. He's like, I don't know what's happening. I can't think straight. Please, I need help. Please heal me.
Shh. There. Remain calm. What has happened?
I heard a voice in the burial site. It was that chronicler who had died. This is his, and I like hold out the jawbone. I'm like, but I can't. I'm almost like word salad though, jumbling. I think until I like heal my wits, I can't really do anything or even think straight.
Right. Recovery is... I think you need... There it is.
He rolls heal, and I heal 1 point of any attribute per success.
Oh, just from the skill.
Hmm.
Okay, yes. Alright. Let's see what happens. Fortunately, he does have high empathy. But I'm rolling for him, so therefore, nah.
Oh my god. Well, I probably just passed
Golly.
out for 4 hours then, and I heal my wits.
Sleep, child.
Yeah.
Roll great when you're trying to kill us.
Yeah, I do. Last night was really good. Rome, I was with the One Ring. I was rolling extraordinary successes. I did nothing less than a great success, relentlessly in a combat.
It's only because in that system the successes are reversed and you get to roll 5 Saurons.
Yeah, yeah.
At least it's only right.
That happened too. But I was on fire last night with my dice rolling. Nearly killed Callum. But today I'm not. But anyway.
Yeah, when we need it.
When you need it most,
When
I
you
don't
need
have
it.
the ability to roll very well at all. Yeah.
Okay, so if we spent basically 6 hours working on the burial site, slept for another 4, so it's probably I wake up like late afternoon, I guess.
Yeah.
I would try to sneak out without being seen when I wake up.
Okay. Roll a sneak.
And I'm gonna push it, obviously.
It's
You
gonna
had a
hurt
success.
Nice. Nice.
you.
All right. So I get out, I guess. I get a stunt technically. Oh, it's just doesn't matter for sneak.
Yeah, you're out, but you've damaged yourself again. Your agility. All right.
Yeah, I needed that.
Yeah, no one was paying that close attention anyway, but yeah, your wits are healed, though. Or is it, that was empathy? Sorry, wasn't it? What was
Oh,
the?
it was wits. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my empathy is still down by 1 until I fix it. Okay, I get out of the temple and I'm trying to I'm like nervous and paranoid and don't know what's happening to me, and so I'm just maintaining sneakiness and trying not to be seen by anybody. I go. So in my head, I just have this vision now of this mutant stealing from Maximon, and I'm gonna try to find him because that was what I saw in my head. I know he works for Maximon, but I don't know his name. I don't know where you want to take that.
You don't know his name, but you know he works for him.
Like he's part of Maximon's gang,
Yeah.
but I've never met him. I'm technically going to use mechanically using the make a deal, which lets me things on a successful roll. So I could roll that to see if I can even find him.
Would that work? Let me see what the stats for that is. Make a deal.
Here's like my wheeler dealer just means I get double of a commodity. Make a deal. I think I can actually post it in chat. Oh, cool. Obviously, ooh, maybe I won't push that because all I need is 1, I think. So I'm doing steal something, what, from whom, and who wants it for my deals on the side.
Yes.
If you succeed, choose 1 option for every.
Is the last one
It's kind of
relevant
obscure
there?
how it. Yeah, probably. To get dirt. Don't necessarily. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and push it. All right, cool. Got it. No mutation points though. That's lame. Could have just sucked my empathy back from him. So yeah, basically just trying to track him down to have a meeting with him.
Okay. All right. So you don't know his name, but you do know. Sorry, I lost him. I picked him out. I'm looking at the list and I lost him. I love it. You do know that he's a warrior.
Okay.
Um,
I would basically find him and then I would stalk him and try to remain unseen, just watching him and seeing what he does and where he goes. And I would wait till nightfall and just follow him the rest of the day.
okay, let's see. So as a warrior, you would know that Maximon would use him as a security detail. And likely you would find him in and around Maximon's area near the control tower. And I did make a token for this guy. But I will. I need to make one for Julia as well.
I guess I would wait and follow him home.
Okay.
Or if there's an opportunity after nightfall where he's alone somewhere is when I would approach him.
Can you make a, let's see. I'm going to say a sneak roll, but do it as a +1 because you're not really sneaking, just trying to be nonchalant.
I just kind of remain unnoticed.
And you're successful.
Do I push it? Oof. I think I'm okay at 5 MP. And I risk like breaking myself if I push that.
You do.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave it.
Of living life on the edge is a redefined term when it comes to describing Vinny. You're on the edge of ruin every single session. I love it. All right. He finishes up his quote unquote shift, which is in the dusk. So it's beginning to get dark. It's not pitch black yet, but it is beginning to get dark. And you see he goes and wanders out and walks along the monorail tracks towards the western gate. And near where, let's see, I don't have a token for him, but if I put your token there, so, I mean, right just to the left of you is the monorail goes over the road. And so it's up high, and so he's able to kind of see out over the water, and he's just sat there just watching. Looks like this a thing he likes to do, to be alone, to unwind from whatever he's doing.
Beautiful view.
He jumps. And then jumps again when he sees you. Jesus! I wouldn't say that, would he? Because he wouldn't know who Jesus is.
Mutant Almighty.
Yeah. By the bombs.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
Right, near the western gate, there's a statue of Athena on the roundabout.
Huh?
On Google Maps.
All right.
That's cool.
I'm not sure if that's like incorporated into religion or something.
I like that. Let's use it in the future. All right.
You should make a little token to leave there.
Yeah.
The Athena collection.
Well, at least put a text box there in a moment. All right. Vinny, you can tell he's kind of cautious here. And weapon-wise, he doesn't carry pistols. He has a bow and a really large scrap knife on his hip. The bow isn't on his hip. The scrap knife is, of course.
I'm keeping my distance. I'm probably like 10 feet away. I'm not looking at him. I'm also looking at the water. My hands are just like crossed behind my back, and water always brings me peace as well. You know me. I must apologize. I do not know you. What is your name?
Ricky.
Of course. Well, as you know, I'm Vinny. It's good to meet you. Our arc is so large. There are so many that I've not met within these walls.
Yeah, we all stay rather busy, don't we?
Being busy is important. It keeps us focused. It gives us purpose. Ricky, was it? And I'll move closer to him. Is he just sitting down, like lounging, just kind of sitting up on edge now that I'm there?
He was just kind of hunched over, so his legs hanging down.
Oh, okay.
Over the, so he's sitting over the road, but he's on the rail, so his legs
Gotcha.
are hanging down, and he was just kind of leaning forward on his elbows. So when you arrived, he's no longer leaning forward. He's sitting straight upright, but he's kind of twisted slightly towards you, never taking his eyes off of you.
I say, I come here often and I've never seen you here before. I must admit, it's not usually at this time of night that I am looking for peace.
Yeah, well, I don't always come here, but usually I do. And also I can keep an eye on the gate.
Yes, after everything that's happened lately, that I'm sure many are avoiding the west wall there.
Yeah, that's why I sat this far away from it.
Smart. If you can excuse my brazenness, but what is your mutation? I only ask because if even a great telepath like my friend and compatriot McKellen can be affected by whatever was happening out there, then any of us could.
I have the ability to heal myself by taking the life force from another.
Rare gift.
I think I've described it correctly. Yeah.
And is that your only ability?
I am a strong warrior.
We need more of those in the Ark. There are many threats from the outside, always oppressing, always coming in closer.
And lately, threats
What
from
is
the
your-
inside.
Oh, and always that. Though they are more devious and harder to discern, wouldn't you say? I am always seeking out anyone who's looking for the deep-seated threats. I care very much for what happens within this arc, and while we can see the Hell Riders and the Zone Ghouls encroaching, I do worry about attacks from the inside. May I ask, are you affiliated?
I run with Maximon.
Ah, I see. And does he reward you well? Are you treated well?
Suppose. Can't complain. Important duties. Trusted.
Mm-hmm. That is good. As long as you have food in your belly and bullets in your pouch. I just, I worry that, well, Maximon seems to be under a lot of stress lately, and I don't know if if you're familiar with Julia, his dog handler, but, well, I've heard some things from her.
Yeah, I know Julia. We've sometimes do security details together. Her dogs are quite talented.
Oh, yes. Beautiful creatures.
I mean, security, I mean, it's just... I like to.
So you know Maximon's schedule rather well then, don't you?
Sometimes. It does change. Why? Are you trying... You need to talk to him.
I like to keep tabs on where all of the leaders come and go. It's just a habit I've had since I was a boy. I've always been fascinated by those in leadership positions. I assume you have heard rumors, if you knew me by name on sight. And so you must know that I could never be a leader. No one would follow me. Isn't that right?
Oh, Many do seem to be frightened of you, which some leaders use that. A leader I will never be.
You could lead. I see it in you.
I don't know that Maximon does.
Well, what does he know, right? And I just kind of laugh. And I'll move in closer, so now I'm next to him, and I'll just sit down kind of cross-legged facing him in almost like a meditative position, not like within reaching distance. I don't mean to frighten you.
Really?
I know my visage is my visage is offensive to some. I too can heal myself through the unfortunate discomfort of others. I have other abilities as well. Would you like to see them?
It depends on what they are.
Before he even finishes talking, I mind terror him, and I'm gonna inflict him visions of my vision, so he's seeing exactly what I saw, and then I'm gonna see just images of like Maximon like dead and being this horrible leader and overthrown, and just he gets these quick flashes of all these visions. I'm gonna use 3 mutation points for this. which will give him 3 levels of doubt. I roll 3d6.
You're never
Nothing
getting another
happens.
mutation.
Dude, it's so annoying. I hate this. Stupid game. So then I'm also, at the same time as this, essentially using manipulate to, well, I guess, does that break him? Does he have only 3 empathy or less?
Oh yes. Hold on a second. Get a sheet up.
I have like a Vampire Masquerade and mixed with Alien soundtrack in the background, and it's going really well.
What,
Inspiration.
2 songs playing at the same time?
Yeah. No, it's just like a playlist that's playing from various sources, and it's just so creepy picturing Vinny like doing this to this guy. Little Vinny.
Yeah, he is broken. He's
Okay, perfect.
He's
So-
kind of broken. This was a wits damage. Is that what that is? Mind terror. Where's it? It is. Yeah, doubt. So that's wits. Yeah. So he is. He's just overloaded with it. What was the exact vision you sent him? Hello?
It said something about the vision he saw, and
Sorry, my mic was on.
there you are.
Okay.
So the vision is him breaking into Maximon's quarters, stealing some bullets, hiding them in Sixter's quarters,
Oh yes, yes, yes.
and
Okay.
because of Seer, he gets +3 when he like goes to do this. Mechanically speaking, by dice rolls. And because I broke his empathy with doubt, manipulate means that if I pass manipulate, I still have to roll that. He doesn't ask for anything in return. He just does it. I'm gonna push that because I can. Okay.
Wow.
So I give him even more doubt. He's already broken by doubt, and I'm just making it worse. The stunt. That's part of the stunt. Okay.
Okay, if he is broken by doubt, he does what you want without demanding a return favor.
Yeah.
You have
He's
brainwashed this man. So,
my boo now. Belongs to me.
yeah. So, describe to me the exact thing that you are telling him to do. What is he going to do? Is he going to do the vision?
He sees my vision. And so it's almost like I almost don't have to verbally say it. Like I have shown him what's going to happen and he's going to do it. And then he's going to report back to me here after it, like the next night after it's done. Listen to me, Ricky. What you've seen was given to me by the first mutant. I was in the burial site today, and I heard a voice. It was the voice of God. This is what God wants, the God of all of us, the mutants. You and I, are alone in this world.
He's just kind of curled up on his side, possibly even leaning into your lap, because you sat cross-legged facing him, and he's just kind of shaking. and kind of whimpering a bit. And you hear him just saying, no, no.
I just get up and leave.
And you leave him there shaking.
Walk off without a word.
You are an evil soul.
I go to Julia's after that
Let's
because
just
it's only
follow-
early nightfall.
Let's just follow that up. Let's just follow that up with. All right, Julia. I've decided. 'Cause I told you she lives in like a shipping crate. Oh yeah, Rand's gone back to there. Is got a shipping crate outside the warehouses, just south of the warehouses. I don't know if you can see that little white bit that juts out. It's underneath the U of warehouses. It's a little white square.
Mhm. That's her.
Yeah. When I saw the map, I thought, where's Julia going to be? And I thought, that's a good spot.
Shrank my guy a little bit, so.
So it is definitely dark now. And you're going up.
I gotta sneak in.
All right. You can hear her talking to her dogs. Who's a good boy? Yep. All right. Sit.
Oh, God,
That's
let's see
good.
this.
Clang, crash.
I'm gonna push it. Oh man, it looked like
Smash.
I was gonna. The dogs start barking at me. I try to sneak in through the back, and I'm caught.
At least you didn't damage yourself this time.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I was hoping for just one damage. And success. Oh,
How many mutation points do you have left now? You used quite a bit.
I have
Down to
3,
3. All right.
which is enough. Hello, Julia.
Oh. No, 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 Vinny, no.
Always good to see you as well. Thank you. I just go in and I sit down on her bed.
The dogs are barking. She's like, shh. Quiet. And they listen, but they're keeping an eye on you, the dogs, that is.
They seem so plump and fat and well fed. Good for you.
Hello, Vinny.
It's been a little bit of time since I've seen you. Aren't you going to ask me how my trip to the zone was? It was quite thrilling, actually. I hope never to do it again.
What do you want?
Fine, fine. We'll cut to the chase, Julia. I was here for a little bit of pleasantry, I suppose, but
Pleasantry.
I need something from you, of course.
Of course.
Well, first, and I grab her wrist. Like, let's get the foreplay out of the way, and then I drain her. I'm gonna
Oh, good
spend
God.
3 mutation points to try to get 3 points back. Well, I get 3 points back, and then let's see what happens with. Come on. Okay. At least I roll those a lot. Now let's see. Oh no.
Oh, damn.
God, I love this. At least it's a new misfire. I hate getting the ones we've already gotten. So
I
many
know it.
times.
this is brand new.
Okay.
So
So
what
now I have
was
to
the-
actually think about
What was you
Yeah,
draining
I'll leave
your
the
of?
parasite. It's still an attribute point, so I'm not actually. Well, I think if it breaks her, she potentially takes trauma.
Trauma is any sort of damage to an
Okay, so
attribute.
yeah, she. So it's literally gonna just balance out. What? That's interesting.
So what attribute were you taking?
Like, I was taking 2 empathy and 1 agility, but I
Oh,
literally just like something happens that.
it sucks right back out of you, and you're out of mutation
Yeah.
points.
Mm-hmm.
That's a backfire.
So she does take the damage. So
Yes, she does.
she takes 2 empathy and 1 agility,
Yeah.
and then I like let go of her, and I just feel sick, and I vomit like this weird yellow bile all over the ground. And I'm like, what's happening to me? It's like this, and the visions are just burned into my brain right now, and I feel like this is all connected, and I like just collapse onto the ground a little, like on one knee, fall over, and maybe lean on a
Terrific.
dog.
It barks and lets you fall further to the ground as it moves out.
Julia, and I'll stand up. I go, I really am sorry for everything I've done to you, but I need your help. Something is happening to me. I know it's sick and twisted, but you're the closest thing I have to a friend.
What? You have a really sick idea of what a friend is.
I know. Imagine being me your entire existence. You see the way I'm treated. I'm a pariah,
I would hang myself.
and for good reason. Thanks for the sentiment. So because of Wheeler because of my talent Juicy Info, I know that she steals from Maximon, and I threatened to report her. So I guess I would have to roll manipulation against her. So I say to her, something's going on in the Ark. It's affecting me, it's affecting everybody. I need you, if Maximon comes to you, I need you to tell him that you have been stealing food for Sixter. That Sixter has been putting his thumb down on you and blackmailing you, and you had no choice.
He won't believe me.
Do you understand? He will believe you. If he comes to you, Sixter is behind everything. I'll protect you from Maximon. It won't come down on you.
How are you going to do that? Maximon has a whole team of security detail. You can't defeat them, Vinny.
I won't need to defeat them.
It's going to get me killed or banished.
Maximon is walking a thin rope right now. He doesn't have the sway or the influence to hurt you. After I'm done with him, Sixter will be his sole focus. I just need you to tell him that Sixter has been blackmailing you to steal food from him.
And then what does Sixer do back to me? He's a puppeteer. He can make me walk off the edge of a building.
You will not be implicated.
How can you be certain?
Can I roll my manipulation at this point?
Yeah.
To see if okay.
Let's see, negatives. I was gonna see about bonuses here.
God, really? 4 successes and no mutation points. That is annoying as fuck. But
Someone who's annoyed
it
at
kinda
getting
does
4
this.
successes. Okay, here we go.
But I'm gonna break her, and this will work because every
Oh, yeah.
stunt. So she takes another 3 doubt. So if that breaks her empathy,
Oh yeah.
now that she's taken 5, so yeah, she does what I say without asking anything in return.
You've been working this woman for weeks. She's not exactly the pillar of strength against you anymore, although she has gotten bold enough to just speak her mind about you, but
That's why I think we're friends.
all right. So she is just sinks against the wall, head in hands. And just with a look of hopelessness. And the dogs sit next to her. And do you leave?
Wow. I was really hoping to get a mutation point and use it to heal her, but now I just have to say, Julia, I'm sorry and thank you, and then I sneak out the back. Oh, actually, I can roll heal on her. I'm gonna try to heal her because she's broken.
Okay.
Just obviously I'm gonna push that. Hey, finally. Okay, so I can't heal her, and I get a mutation point out of it. So I will spend that mutation point to parasite her again and try to heal her with that. Rolling 1 base dice for misfire. Nothing happens. I'll give her 1 of my own empathy, bringing me down to 1 and putting her at 1, and say, I told you before, you and I are 1, and then I'll leave.
She just looks at you as you leave. You know, right about now, Julia's probably weighing up, banishment from the Ark or continued meetings with Vinny. Okay.
And then I don't know where I'm gonna go next, so let's switch off me.
Okay. Now, it is evening time. So, Ran, Trace, and McKellen. What might you be doing? We've only got about just under 20 minutes left of the session. We want to do some experience points, so it might be more about setting what actions you're doing rather than enacting them, but
Yeah, I probably want to have the conversation about heading to the island. So I'll meet up with the others. Or whoever's at the Kodiak base.
Trace?
And I guess,
You guys had headed back to the plane.
yeah, be discussing with Katinka and the others about returning to the Sky Wheel to assist Rand with unlocking his memories. When should we go, and or should we stay with, or should I stay with the visitors from the Pure Plant, since I'm the only translator, and Rand and Katinka and a few others can make the trip back to Skywheel. Those sorts of things.
Okay. Let's see. Right. Okay, so briefly, let's have part of that conversation, and then McKellen will come in. We have a little bit of time. Are you guys meeting in the cockpit? Or are you talking with organics as well?
I'd say we were going to be talking with organics. Maybe some of them will want to come with to Skywheel with us, or with those who go. You know, if I go, depends on if they want me to go to stay with the visitors.
Katinka says to you, I have enjoyed my time here with you all, and would love to continue to stay here, but I have no obligations keeping me here. I am free to go at any point. I would, however, prefer not to risk damage to myself by walking, as the zone, as I have gathered, is quite a dangerous place. So therefore, I am at your mercy when the rest of you decide to go. The only others that are around right now are just other Kodiaks. Orson is trying to work out his life right now, but and the Kodiaks are saying, well, you know, I'm always up for going out in the zone. It's a collective opinion, but of theirs. But Orson calls the shots. There's no way. I mean, I don't even know how to drive the loud wagons. But even if I did, there's no way I would do that without his permission. I mean, have you seen how he gets when he's angry?
Indeed, hence why we're here right now, waiting for him to cool off, as you like to say.
Yeah, well, knowing how he is, that's likely going to be a morning thing. But not the morning. No, actually, he hates mornings. Tomorrow, maybe, he might be better. I don't know. But I don't think you'll see it tonight.
Well, it would be unwise to leave in the dark.
And at that point, McKellen comes in.
Good evening, Kodiaks.
Evening. Hello, McKellen. It's Katinka.
Katinka, good to see you.
Solved any more mysteries?
Well, no. More seem to be arriving every minute. In fact, part of that's why I thought I'd come by and have a talk with the Kodiaks. I know you've all only just arrived back from an expedition yesterday, but I think it would be very good for the Ark if we were to head back to the island and treat with the humans that you discovered there. As Trace knows, discussing the matter of Eden with them, there may be information, very important information, that could lead us to the thing that the Ark needs most.
Your response, Trace? Or Ran?
Well, seems like I would be needed there. As I'm the only one that can communicate with those on the island.
Well, yes, if you could join us, I would be most indebted.
We were just discussing taking Rand to Skywheel to help
Ah.
him with his locked memories.
Well, I'd certainly be behind that plan. What's this about locked memories? Are you missing? How much are you missing?
I'm missing, I'd say, a great chunk of anything. I barely remember the past few months, I believe, if I can even say that.
Well, being as my understanding of your mechanical's purpose is as guardians of the ancients, then I am in your service in terms of helping you in this matter. But I must follow any possible news of Eden. So, how about if we head back to the island, which is a short ways west of us, I believe. And depending on the information we have from the humans' leader, Luttrell, perhaps then we could strike out north for the Skywheel.
Yes, I also had the thought of possibly seeing if the other mechanicals at Skywheel would be willing to help those on the island by offering protection in exchange for power. Because as you know, that is the one resource we are in greatly need of.
Yes, I'd agree. It would be important to connect the two communities. Perhaps then there's another reason to speak to Luttrell. Because I know the mechanicals at the Skywheel, my understanding of their mission is to track down the remaining humans in the zone. So I'm sure they would be very eager to hear of them.
And at that point, some more of the Kodiaks come into the plane, mid-conversation. And it's... I forget their names, hold on. It's Charlie and Connie. And near them is, following along with them is Eobard. And so they're mid-conversation, so you hear them try to say, they were by the museum? Oh, that's so close. And what were they doing? And Connie says, Deanna and Monica were there watching them. They were out on mission. They said they seemed to be searching for something, and they looked at the road a lot. They got down close to it, and they looked, trying to find a way into the museum, and then set up camp and drove west. But here's the clincher. Before they drove west, they looked south. That's the direction that we took when we came back.
Would you mind catching us up? What's
Oh,
going on?
hi. Hellriders. Hellriders were seen. We went by that place you told us was called a museum.
Ah, yes.
That's where
They were out there.
where we were attacked by the trash hawks.
I remember.
But Deanna and Monica, they were out. You guys are looking at her, and Connie's like, Deanna, she's a stalker. They're not part of a gang. But they saw them. There was maybe 6 of them in 2 different loud wagons. But I mean, that's so close to here. That's what? 2 or 3 hours ride? In a loud wagon?
Yes, about that. I don't like the idea of them being at a place so sacred to the ancients.
Charlie's.
Did they get an idea of numbers?
Yeah, Deanna thought there was maybe about 6 of them, and they had 2 loud wagons. I don't know. Charlie's. They're onto us. They're gonna find us. We killed their people. We took their loud wagons. Do you think they saw a track? Charlie's a tracker. That's his mutation. But do you think they can track like I can? What Orson says about the Hell Riders, I don't want to run into them all. He said their numbers were massive. What if this was a scouting party?
Well, it sounds to me like this is all the more reason for us to keep our communities on the same page. We were just discussing an expedition. We want us to head back to the island. I want to speak to the leader of the people underground there, and Trace and Ran have business, important business, up at the wheel. It would be good for us to get everyone on the same page as regards these Hell Riders.
Going
Can't have them
north.
poking around so close to the Ark.
Going north again. What if those Hell Riders are still out there? It's definitely something Orson needs to know. Charlie looks at Connie. You want to go bother him? And she looks towards the door that leads to where Orson resides. Maybe tomorrow. And
Yes,
that's-
let's all gather tomorrow. Have a good discussion about next steps. We've got a lot of things to discuss. A lot of important things.
And that's where we should probably stop. And now comes the weekly.
Foreboding.
So
Nice.
many different pans in the fire right now.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Right.
So how many
Picture
people
it.
die?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, what?
How many people die?
Oh yes, we got to figure that one out too. I was just getting to the experience section, and then we'll.
Right.
And I always forget the page number.
I'm surprised you don't have his feet on the screen just for that.
You know, I keep telling myself every session I need to do that, and every session I forget. Here we go, found
Where you
it.
going? You're using your book, your hard book?
No, I've got PDF.
Oh.
Hardbook's more cumbersome when I do it. I'm mostly in PDF when we're doing a session because I can just search through it quicker than I can page through a book. I found it. It's
Well,
page.
it's got to be in the journal too.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I just found it in the journal. You're a mutant, and then develop.
Page 25. So here we go. So, y'all ready?
Yep.
All right. Did you participate in the session? Gain 1 experience point. Did you perform a day's work for a project in the Ark? That will be McKellen and Vinny. Did you explore at least one new sector in the zone? Nope.
Nope.
Callum, had you gone and updated your like PC buddy and things like that?
What do you mean?
That wasn't English. Whatever you said.
It was. I said, what do you mean?
It's on your info tab of your character sheet because this is where you get a lot of your experience. And last time you didn't have anything in there.
Oh, I'm still trying to put stuff together, to be quite honest. I haven't done that yet.
Gonna be low
And I've only been around for 2 sessions, so.
Yeah. It's gonna be low experience for you. All right.
Oh, no.
Did you sacrifice or risk something for your PC buddy? Though I don't know that anyone gets that point, but.
No.
Did you sacrifice or risk something for the NPC you want to keep safe? Actually, maybe you're going to be in the same boat as everyone else, Colin. Because I don't think anyone got that one.
I am gonna change mine though to Julia.
Well, Julia.
Because now I actually have reason to protect her, and I could actually get XP for that in this situation.
Yeah. Did you sacrifice or risk something to mess with the NPC you hate?
I spoke to Astrina asking her to back me up against Ascartian when it comes to it. For against Eden. What's where did he proposes seeking out Eden? Depends if you count that.
Is that a sacrifice or a risk?
I'd say it's a bit of a risk socially, because
Yeah.
I'm asking the chroniclers to take a political stand.
Ah, yes. Okay, I agree. Vinny, you definitely got one of those. And then finally, did you sacrifice or risk something to reach your big dream?
Nope.
Suit it, but I don't think I risk anything.
Well, my big dream is the second half is to see Maximon dead. I would argue that I worked towards doing that.
Yeah, I would too.
Because I could, well, it's interesting. I'm looking at the page 2 in the journal, and it specifically talks about changing your big dream and your NPC after every session, if you feel like it. And so I would almost think that, because it's like Maximon Dead's just to keep it short and simple, but it's like essentially dethroning him, like, and then hopefully him being dead in the process is my dream.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely give that to you.
See if I can turn him against Sixter.
Is it 5 XP for a talent as well as skill?
Yeah.
Cool. Good to get
Callum, I'm
cool
writing
talent.
at the bottom of your info tab on your character sheet 4 things that you should consider, which will increase your experience points.
Goodness, Mike.
So it's a PC buddy, an NPC you want to keep safe, and an NPC you hate. And then to choose a big dream. And that big dream could be anything: to reconnect with your memory core. For example, it could be and you can change these dreams and buddies and hatreds and every session, but not. You don't get to change them right before experience points are divvied out. Yeah, I'm gonna change my big dream to whatever I did today. Why didn't it save? Damn it.
That's why you want your big dream to be like, it needs to be kind of specific, but still like obtuse and not really I don't know. The game Burning Wheel does it really interesting, like similar that you have 3 goals and it's kind of you set like what your character wants to do, and that's how you get XP is by achieving them, and that like evolves over time, and that's kind of see the big dream aspect of this game too, almost.
Yeah.
Like
It's kind of like
'cause they want you to.
It's kind of like your overall purpose. What is your focus in life, sort of thing. Right. There you go, Callum. I put it in bold at the bottom of your info tab of your character sheet, so you can
Oh.
have a look at that.